What's a fact you know that almost everyone is wrong about? I see posts in r/popular all the time that misidentify sea lions as seals. It's fairly easy to tell the difference if you see how they move on land. Sea lions can tuck their back flipper under them and walk on it, while seals are tubes and have to bounce/shuffle along on land. There is not just fight or flight response, but also a freeze response. The muscles tense and the body goes very still. This explains why some people are paralyzed with fear, and freeze instead of running or fighting back. It is very helpful for camouflage and hiding from predators with poor eyesight. It does not work so well when standing in front of a speeding truck. Migraines aren't just a really bad headache. Headache is one of the 4 possible stages of migraine. You can have migraine symptoms without your head hurting. Here's a good picture, although note that not all migraines hit all 4 stages. Edit. Thanks for the awards. If it help anyone, my migraines have been less severe and less frequent since I started regularly taking magnesium supplements, which is depleted by another medication I take. Edit 2. Turns out there's a sub for this, r/migraine. I used to work for a lady that got migraines with no pain at all, but her vision would go blurry and she would lose her sight for a while. That was the first time I had heard anything like that about migraines. The human brain is so complex and interesting. That's like the next worst stage of a migraine without the searing pain. It's kind of like you're tripping, but badly. For me, my hearing becomes too loud, and if it's dark, passing car lights kind of feel like being punched in the head by a sensation that isn't pain, but definitely is nice. A migraine seems to press your brain against your skull, setting off ringing noises as a warning sign that you do not even hear until you are already furious, because everything is suddenly so irritating that it is as though everyone talking to you is grabbing you by the throat and screaming directly into your ear, and you'd kill all of them, every last one, even the ones you loved just hours ago, theoretically, for some peace inside your head. So you snap. I am fortunate in that A, my migraines are temporary. I moved from a small island to a large continent, and this is to be expected, apparently. B, my husband is now like a migraine ninja. His support has been incredibly helpful, and he has been very understanding. He worked out that I had a magnesium deficiency, worked out exactly how much Xanax, Mindos, was needed to set me into sleep when it was really bad. He has painkillers, B-vits and caffeine stuff in his bag for me if we travel, and I just can't see anything right now due to the stabby nature of the sunlight. Anyway, my point is that migraines are not a headache. They can cause a headache, but migraine encompasses a range of symptoms that are kind of hard to deal with, especially given that sometimes you haven't yet realized that you have started to have one. One bit of advice I'd give to non-sufferers: just look out for friends and colleagues who seem to change behavior when the atmospheric temp changes, or there is a storm. Migraines affect your behavior long before the headache. The myth of Narcissus. Most people think of it as he has fallen in love with himself, missing the distinction and nuance that he falls in love with the image of himself. This is important. If you run into any narcissist, you will notice the image they have of themselves is quite different from who they actually are. Also, not everyone who is selfish is a narcissist. Those that can't do, teach is a mockery of a quote by Aristotle. Those that know, do. Those that understand, teach. And those that can't teach, teach Jim. Relevant for tax season. It confounds me how many people don't know how marginal tax rates work. It's not a flat percentage of income based on which bracket you're in. It's tiered in steps, where each bracket is taxed individually. Let's review the math. In tax year 2019, the new tax brackets are as follows. For ease of math, let's assume you are a single, unmarried individual. $0 to $9,699 isn't taxed. $9,700 to $39,700 is taxed at 12%. If you make $39,700 or higher, the total income tax paid in this bracket is $3,572.88. Final numbers get rounded, but we'll get to that. $39,700 to $84,199 is taxed at 22%. Now, just to give you a little comparison point, let's suppose that as a single individual you will make exactly $39,701 in 2019. Most people believe that this entire amount would get taxed at 22%, making you pay $8,734 in income tax. In reality, you only get taxed on those couple dollars that are in the 22% bracket. I'll split the math up down below for formatting purposes. The real calculation. We already showed above that $9,700 to $39,474 is taxed at 12%, so the income tax in that tier is $3,572.88. So $3,572.88 plus $39,701, $39,700, 0.22, equals a whopping $3,573 rounded down to the nearest dollar. In case you missed the math, you only got taxed at the 22% bracket on that single dollar that bumped you over. The insane misunderstanding of this system leads to people turning down raises because they think they're actually losing money by getting bumped into the next tax bracket. Also, if you get a huge refund this year, that's not something to be excited about. You are effectively loaning the government your money at 0%. If you enjoy this method as a sort of forced savings account, it's an incredibly inefficient way of budget. Set up auto withdrawals to a high-interest savings account, or better yet a tax-advantaged retirement account, to automate your savings and you'll never miss the money. Diamonds are not the most valuable ore, $2,000 $25,000 per carat. That crown goes to jadeite, $3 million per carat. Edit, where I got my info. What about netherite? On Reddit, 1 emerite is worth 1,000 netherites. Anastasia is not a Disney movie and she is not a Disney princess. More importantly, the whole thing was based on a real-life scam. I just wanted to clarify a few things. Anastasia was produced and published by the now-defunct Fox Animation, which means that the rights to the film are now owned by Disney due to their taking control of Fox. But Anastasia was directed by Don Bluth, who used to work at Disney. He actually quit after the production of The Rescuers because he felt that Disney had lost a lot of their light with Walt's death and for allowing the animation's quality to degrade. A major issue of his was that they wouldn't put a lot of work into the mice to give them proper eyes, something you can see in certain scenes such as the close-up of Bernard's face during the pirate cave scene. Also, he may have had issues with the animation director Milt Kahl, extremely toxic due to trying to show himself as superior to the animator of Cruella de Vil and wouldn't let anyone else work on Madame Medusa. So, it's owned by Disney, directed by an ex-Disney animator, worked on by staff who left Disney in an exodus, and isn't a Disney princess film. Beer won't skunk if you let it get warm after getting cold. It's all about light exposure. Edit, thank you to everyone who was able to better refine the statement that I made. It should be noted that extreme and extended changes in temperature will in fact affect the flavor of a beer. Good one. My organic chemistry professor in undergrad worked on the beer side of food science. Every Halloween he would show the episode of a European documentary about beer skunking. If I remember correctly, a compound in the hops was light sensitive and would break down/produce a thiol compound when bombarded with sunlight, which the documentary kept humorously referring to as the cat piss compound. Our professor called it skunky thiol. I think he developed a chemical additive that would absorb excess light and keep the thiol from being produced, but if added to beer, made the end product could not be classified as beer by the strictest definitions. The other way to slow down the reaction was using colored glass bottles instead of clear glass to try to block certain harmful wavelengths. Props to the marketing team at Corona for the lime wedge/lime juice campaign to mask the high levels of cat piss compound. Edit, added articles with additional information. Scientific American, 2001. Charlotte Observer, 2015. Eureka Alert 2001. Endeavors, UNC, 2002. Ken Blog, 2008. If you're not consistent with disciplining your child, they will not understand the concept of consequences, and thus no matter how hard you try, they will continue to engage in the undesired behavior. Y'all would think that this is a basic thing for parents to understand, but nay. Little Braden/Caden/Drayden/Graydon/Hayden/Jaden/Pyden/O'Caden is an angel and it is no big deal that he pushed a kid off a bike and the kid who fell may have a concussion. As a teacher, I see far too many parents coddle their children. Sorry love, your son is pushing kids for literally no reason. We have tried every behavior management and discipline strategy we could think of. Yet when you pick your son up at the end of the day and you sign the incident reports, you tell him not to worry and then give him candy and act like nothing happened. He's going to think what he did is okay and continue to do it. Parents, please believe your child's teachers when it comes to their behavior. We just want to have a future where the generation who is going to end up taking care of us isn't full of assholes. Smile. Not sure if it's for most people, but the people I've come across have this wrong almost always. Canberra is the capital city of Australia, Sydney is not. I just want to add that the outside of the Sydney Opera House is like little tiles and not big metal panels. Yeah, didn't know this until seeing it a few weeks ago. They're ceramic and quite fascinating. That'll happen when people hear about another city far more than your capital. Source: many people think that NYC is the capital of New York. Edit: for those asking, the capital is Albany. Your hair and nails don't actually keep growing after you die. Your body just loses moisture and fluids, making your body dehydrate and shrink up. This gives the illusion that your fingernails and hair appear longer. And it's what made people believe in vampires or witches when they'd look at people that had been dead for days and saw their hair and nails grow. Being schizophrenic does not mean you have multiple personalities. To add to this, schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, schizoid personality disorder, and schizotypal personality disorder are fairly distinct from one another. Schizophrenia is an episodic disorder characterized by psychosis, hallucinations, delusions, paranoia, etc., whereas schizoaffective disorder is more intermittent with episodes of psychosis and mood disorder not necessarily present together. Both of these are distinct from bipolar disorder with psychotic features and depression with psychotic features. Schizoid personality disorder is essentially someone who is very non-social to the point of having difficulty functioning or adjusting to change but is okay with that, and before you ask, no, not every neckbeard or loner meets the criteria. Schizotypal personality disorder is someone who wants to be social but has odd behaviors, magical thinking, and other bizarre behaviors that often lead to difficulty with socialization. Also, multiple personalities, formerly dissociative identity disorder, is highly debated as to what exactly defines it and whether it's even real. Most psychiatrists characterize it as a response to very severe trauma over a long period of time. The theory is that it is a defense mechanism during the trauma which enables the victim to survive by dissociating. Basically, when the trauma is happening, the victim opens a box, and when the trance ends they close the box and they make it a separate part of themselves. Eventually, they are no longer in that situation and it becomes hard to keep fully separate and thus becomes maladaptive. The goal of treatment is to help the person recognize that these personalities are all aspects of their own self and to help integrate them into being one. Subscribe for more amazing stories. I said subscribe now. Otherwise this will open the door and eat you when you are asleep.